what about owning a car, guys?
We don't own one here nor in the States. We sold it 5 or 6 years ago. We got tired of it. Every time we went to the States, it needed something, another $500 or $600 repair. And so we just decided to forget it.
Okay, so you guys are telling us then on for our subscribers that it really isn't 100% mandatory to own your own private car in these countries.
Not in these countries. No way. I wouldn't want one. Transportation is so inexpensive. And, buses run everywhere and regularly. And there's tuk-tuks that run around here all the time. There are 5 queues. That's maybe, 60 cents?
Taxis are cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, here they say a tuk-tuk is a guagua, a little van bus that stops everywhere and picks up people for a little bit of spare change.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to, myself, I do a lot of back road running, and discovering new areas, 40, 50 miles out in the bush. So I myself, and taking people around, I definitely need a vehicle. Actually, my passion is pulling wrenches on old trucks. So I have a 30-year-old Australian Land Cruiser that's a little diesel, and I just ran folks around for 6 days straight, about 400 miles for a little over $55.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but that's just a passion. But I have to have it. But it's good you're getting this out that not everybody needs it like in other nations.
Right.
Just before we start closing out, can you fill us in about the importance of interactions with local citizens? I mean, look who I'm talking to, but this is important.
Oh, I would say it's very important to interact with local citizens. That's where the action is, really. I mean, that's, if you ever need help or you want to know a place to rent, or you want to know the lawyers to get, or you want to go to a doctor. I mean, the locals know all that stuff. The best bargains that you can find, or the best fruits and vegetables. I mean, locals are definitely where the action is.
And I think in the Latin countries, what I find is relationships matter. And if you can become friends with a family or with other people similar, of similar age, of the local culture, they will befriend you forever. And it's really warm to me, because like Acacia said, they know where to go in the event of an emergency, or they know what's going on in the news around here or whatever. And it makes life better. It just makes it a little bit sweeter.
It's truth. It's imperative. And I mean, we live on a little road up the mountain, a little stone road, and there's 5 local families that, even though they've already seen that car 10 times, they run out in the road and stop it. Like do they know you're coming?
Right.
And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced in my life, because I don't think these countries have allowed what many first world nations through media, which I call divide and conquer its people. They haven't divided them. People here stick together, and I love
right.
that.
In the States, everybody's got the automatic garage door openers, and so they come home from work, they open the garage door, they pull the car in, they get out of the car, they go into the house. They don't even know their neighbors.
Yeah. We don't even have air conditioning here, 90% of the homes, and you don't need it in the mountains. In the hills, you don't need it. But what about personal safety? Touch on that before I start closing out. Personal safety is another one. Now, I guess not many people watch the 6 o'clock news, because they have a feeling that once we leave the country, everyone's out to attack Americans. I don't think they're watching their own news, because any 6 o'clock news is going to give you the daily carnage rate before they even get into any kind of news. So
I think a lot of it is common sense, Barry. I think that if you're gonna party until 2 or 3 in the morning and walk a dark alleyway drunk, or a woman wearing a skimpy dress, and you're looking for trouble. I don't care where it is, but if you mind your P's and Q's and you're polite and use some common sense, we've never had an issue.
I think that you stay out of political rallies. You stay out of anything political. We don't do anything rally of any sorts. We just walk the other way. I mean, you can't get involved in the local politics unless you want trouble.
And we were just in Thailand last year for 3 months, and they're under military rule right now. They had a coup, but did it affect us? Not one bit. In fact, we felt safer because they shut down all the political rallies. And here in Panajachel, it's a small town. It's only maybe 5,000 or 7,000 people. But I feel perfectly safe here. Acacia runs around on her own, and I don't worry about her. Whereas if we're in the States and she goes out somewhere, I start getting concerned when she's not back at a certain time.
I think it's a fallacy, too, that people around the world hate Americans. I don't know. We've not experienced that, not in general.
I think that's media created, and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't appreciate it either. I love my country, as I'm sure you love yours, both your adopted one and your native one, and people just aren't that hateful of Americans overseas.
No.
You know, it's funny you bring that up, and do you mind if I add something to that? Excuse me. It's been my experience of 39 years living in these countries. People don't hate by nationality. People hate by individuals. Yep. In other words, you can be a jerk from Canada or a jerk from France, and they're not going to like you. But just because you're from France or Canada, that's not the reason why.
You know, do I agree? Do I agree with everything our government does? No. But I don't agree with anything any government does.
Well, even government's a Latin word. It's two words from Greek Latin. It's gubernamentino and ment. And gubernamentino in English means to control. Ment means the mind, to control the mind. That's what government means. So it's just something. I'm glad you shed that light, because people living in the land in the free seem to be, I mean, I don't know what happened over the decades, but they seem to have become the most fearful people. And, you know, they got their bandanas with the stars and stripes to cover the bald spot, but you pop open a bottle of rum on the street and it's, what are you crazy, we're going to get arrested? Or, you know, here in the country, you can drink a beer while you drive in the country. I can't say the big cities. And if you got stopped, you can let the cop hold your beer and he'll give it back to you after he said, be more careful. But the ones in the land of the free are the ones walking around in fear. I've yet to understand that concept, because to me, even touching on briefly what you said before, you used the phrase common sense many times about crime. Well, the funniest thing about common sense is it ain't all that common.
You're right.
Crime and stupidity go hand in hand. And I'm really thankful you shed some light onto the. And I'd like to ask you if there is. I don't want to. Maybe we'll do another interview. It would be delightful. I've really enjoyed talking with people of your mindset. It would be my blessing one day if you decided to perhaps even come out to this neck of the woods and.
Be careful what you wish for, Barry.
It's okay. Like I said, we're close to government. I'm not too worried about it. But I'd like any closing remarks you could shed to enhance our subscribers' knowledge. You're a wealth of knowledge, both of you. It's been a pleasure to meet you. And any closing statements that you could perhaps, you know, we have a lot of people sitting on the fence post. Now we're growing astronomically, but there's a lot of people that are undecided sitting on the fence post. And for us, it's we always look at it, Westerners try and see the view from the top of the staircase before they've taken the first step. They don't understand that the view changes with each step you take. But is there any wisdom that you can share with them that might get them off the fence post?
Well, I certainly think having an open mind and being flexible they are assets, and to allow things to happen. We've all talked about letting the experience come to you. I think that's really important. There's no wrong decision. It doesn't mean that every door shuts behind you once you make a decision. Certainly try it out. Try something new.
Well, every journey starts with one step, and I think that first step is like that inertia point that I made earlier. It's getting your butt up and off the couch and taking that first step. And just seeing where it goes. There's a Y in the road, you take it.
Like like I've always said, not every door is closed, and if it is, not every deadbolt works. I would like to close out by saying, please tell our viewers and subscribers the easiest way to stay informed with yourselves.
Well, our website is RetireEarlyLifestyle.com. We have a free newsletter. We've got wonderful preferred links with a ton of information. Most of our website is free. We have a digital bookstore that they can read any of our stuff. We answer every one of our emails. That is the guide at RetireEarlyLifestyle.com. And We have a Facebook page. You got to find us. It's easy to find us.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. I want to thank you both so much for your time. I really enjoyed this. It was a sincere pleasure, and I hope this isn't the end, but rather the beginning of our friendship.
Thank you, Barry. We very much appreciate that.